If you're a mom who's putting yourself last, telling yourself you'll get back into shape when life slows down, when the school year ends, when your appointments get caught up, when you finally get a night's sleep, when the house is clean and stays clean, I really need you to hear this. That day is never going to happen. And every single day you wait for that to come, you're wasting a day of being your best self. Yourself and your family get a lesser version of you. And I'm not saying this to shame you or make you feel bad. I'm saying this because I work every single day with busy moms like you, helping prioritize your health, helping to get you where you want to be, weight loss and lifestyle goals. Now, I've been certified since 2015, and I've been helping all kinds of people, particularly moms. We've worked together in the gym settings, one-on-one, group, brick and mortar, online settings, nutrition. So after working with, say, about 50 to 100 moms, give or take, over the years, if there's one thing I know about them, they put themselves last. You're putting yourself last, and moms especially who aim to get better control over their health, they understand that they do not have extra time, and they understand what's at stake when they don't make time for their health. Because it's not about finding time, it's about making it. So if you're a mom like I described, in this video I'm going to walk you through 3 things that are actually keeping you stuck. And stick with me for the last one, because it's something that nobody in the fitness space ever talks about. Number 1, you're managing everyone's health but your own. As a mom, you become somebody I like to call the default health manager. This is just one of the many countless hats that you're wearing every single day. You book the pediatrician, the dentist, the orthodontist, and not gonna lie, full transparency, probably dad's follow-up appointments that he doesn't book himself. You know, every kid's allergy, every medication, every dietary preference, but you couldn't tell me the last time you had your own checkup and evaluation. The cruel irony to this whole thing is the one person that's running the entire family's health has completely opted out of her own. And it's not selflessness because you want to be healthy. It's disguised as love. And I say this with zero judgment because I see it constantly, even with my own wife. So I'll give you an example. I have a client who has 2 young girls. The mom is actively involved in her coaching. The mom is actively involved in her girls' activities. One of her girls is a cheerleader. So she knows exactly what macros she needs. She knows exactly what she needs to be putting into her body to be at the level she needs to be at. All the while, she hasn't paid any attention to what she's putting into her own body. The bottom line is you cannot pour from an empty cup. In other words, you can't manage anyone else's health long term if yours is deteriorating around you yourself. It's like the oxygen mask on a plane. You got to put yours on first, and that's not because yours matters more. It's because you actually can't help anybody if it gets worse gradually for yourself. Something small that mom did that I mentioned with the cheerleading is she started to walk more and get more steps as she became more involved. There's always options to get more activity. There's always options to do these little tweaks and litter them throughout your day to improve your health. Stop putting yourself last when you're the one holding everyone together. But here's where it goes even deeper. It's not about time or priorities. Your body is working against you and nobody told you why. And that brings me to the second point. Your body changed, but your habits didn't. Most moms are still eating the exact same way they did in their 20s. Same portion sizes, same food choices, same, oh, I'll skip this meal and be fine the rest of the day mentality. But your body now is completely different than the body you had then. In your 20s, your metabolism was faster, your estrogen was higher, your muscle mass was just naturally higher. Your body was more forgiving. You could get away with it so much easier than you can today. And as you navigate through your 30s, especially as you're approaching premenopause, which can start as early as your mid-30s, estrogen can start declining. Estrogen plays a direct role in how your body stores fat, especially around your midsection. And when it drops, fat storage shifts. And this is all hormonal. Hormones are completely different. At the same time, cortisol, your stress hormone, becomes that much harder to regulate. And who could you think of that has chronically elevated cortisol? Moms running a household and home and job 24 hours a day with no off switch. So elevated cortisol plus declining estrogen tells your body to hold on to fat as a survival mechanism, especially body fat. Then you layer on top of that the sleep disruption that moms get constantly. We might not have a baby in the house, but this one is the culprit for mommy not getting sleep lately. Because broken sleep makes insulin resistance worse, among many other things. It basically means you're just more susceptible for gaining weight. And it drives up your ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. It tells your body that I'm hungry when you really shouldn't have more food at the moment. And it's going to drive down your leptin, which is your hormone that tells you that I'm full. So it makes you consume more of the foods that you don't need, and it's going to make you feel exhausted. which you really can't afford. This might be why you crave sugar and carbs by 2 p.m. and you have no idea why. So this doesn't mean you're lazy, this doesn't mean you're weak. Your biology just shifted, and you're not lacking willpower either. What I'm telling you right now, most women will internalize it and do nothing about it. They'll even blame themselves. But that doesn't have to be you right now. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to be more disciplined or have more willpower or be more than you can give. It just means that you need a new game plan, something that works for you. And that could vary vastly depending on the person. It's all subjective. So for most women, we just start off by looking at what they already consume for calories. And by doing that, we just use an app like MyFitnessPal to track. You don't know where you're going until you start where you already are, and then go from there and make little tiny adjustments. I find that works the best. You gotta make tiny tweaks and do those micro wins, I like to call them, each week or each step of the journey to prove to yourself that you're actually capable. Some other women like to dial in the movement first. They like to get their steps in. They like to figure out a workout routine, something that they're able to do consistently, because that's the most important part. But that's so much easier said than done for so many people because, like I said before, life is insane and it doesn't have an off switch. But 9 times out of 10, you want to start with the eating because you cannot out-train bad eating habits. And it's not about eating less, it's about eating differently. Because I have so many clients that just automatically assume that if they eat less, they'll start losing weight quicker. That's not the case because metabolism needs to be high. And when you start eating less, consuming less energy, consuming less calories, consuming less nutrients that your body needs, you start losing muscle on top of the fat. And with your already changing hormones, that's a recipe for weight stalling and even weight gain, because it makes your body hold on to the fat as long as possible instead of burning it, because it feels like it needs it as a survival tool. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Mark, doesn't weight loss mean calories in, calories out? Like you need to be in a calorie deficit? Yes, you need to burn more calories than you take in. But it doesn't mean you have to burn 700 more calories than you take in. You have to be at a reasonable deficit, meaning that it's a little less than what your maintenance is, but it's not drastically lower. And to find that, you put it in the description, tdeecalculator.net, just to help you find your starting point. It's just a rough estimate. And protein is going to be your secret weapon to losing weight. More protein is going to protect and build muscle mass and become your body's engine, your metabolism's engine more specifically. Fewer processed carbs to spike your insulin and tell your body to keep storing fat, because that's what happens. This means actually fueling your body with energy and calories that your body needs instead of just scarfing down caffeine to get through the morning with your kids. But even when moms understand all of this, the time, the hormones, the nutrition, where to get started with their journey, there's still one thing that nobody talks about that you won't get anywhere without. The exact real reason why your weight does not move. And I promise you it's been sitting in the back of your mind for a while now. And that's number 3, your identity got absorbed by everyone else's. Somewhere between becoming a wife, a mom, a household scheduler, maybe a chef, maybe an educational support system, maybe a therapist, all while maybe holding down a job on top of that, you lost your identity in the process. You're not just Sally's mom. You're not just Jim's wife. You're not just someone who answers to somebody else's name before your own. And now when you think about getting into shape, whether that mean go to the gym, start tracking your calories, or even just prioritizing yourself in general, doing stuff you enjoy, it's selfish, or it feels selfish because in your head you're taking away something that you need to be for your kids or for somebody else. The guilt is the real weight you're carrying, the mental weight that is, and no diet in the world could fix that. I've watched this happen with countless moms I've worked with over the years. Hardworking, devoted, brilliant women. And at some point they got lost along the way and stopped seeing themselves as somebody who takes care of their own bodies. And once that identity shifts, it's so much harder to get back. Every single habit starts to shift the moment your identity starts to. The moment you miss one workout and it compounds to missing the entire week. The feeling that you have to drop everything and go to your kid's whim or go to somebody who needs you at work or just drop everything and put yourself on the back burner over and over again. That'll become part of who you are. Trust me, I know this from experience. I'm not a mom, but as a man, I've done this countless times. Here's the truth. The most present mom, the most present wife, the most capable version of you has always been the healthiest one. And that's the God honest truth. You could have every single problem in the world and realize you have good health, and then you realize none of those are actually problems. It says it in the Bible, your body is a temple. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Being healthy is the presence that God gave you to pour into the people He placed in your life. And honoring that is not selfish, it's obedience. It's our duty. Do it for your family. Do it because we only get one life and one body. But also, and I mean this, do it for you because you deserve to feel free in your own body. You deserve to feel no pain. You deserve to have the body that you deserve. So here are a few actionable steps that you could do this week, because watching this video isn't enough. I want you to be able to take it and take action and start making the change today. Number one, find one pocket in your day and put movement into it. If you've ever read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, one of my favorites, you have to do something called habit stacking, and that's bringing movement to you. Bringing stuff, not even just movement, bringing habits in general to your already existing routine. So you take where you already are, you take where you want to go, and you close the gap by adding in or subtracting the things that align with or don't align with your goals. So I'll give you an example. If I wanted to get stronger and build more muscle, if you're at a point where you're doing constant chores and you're just running around all the time, which if you made it this far in this video, I know that's you. I want you to just do a set of push-ups in between a load of laundry, or do a set of squats, 10, nothing crazy. Just every time you unload the dishwasher, you drop and do 10 push-ups, or you do 10 squats. Every time you feed a pet, every time you pack the kids' lunch, every time you do a little chore, break it up with a set of 10 movements. That's it. And you'll be amazed how much difference that makes, because it takes, first of all, it takes no time at all to do. It takes 10 seconds to do a set of 10. These movements compound more than you realize. Number two, I want you to audit one meal, whether that be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, something that you could take a look at and really examine and say to yourself, does this align with the mom and woman I want to be? That's it. Just start with awareness. There was a study done at Harvard University, 70 participants. All they did was track what they ate for, I think it was like a month period or something like that. All they did was track. They didn't change any diets. They didn't go on any different foods. They just started with that awareness. And on an average, just that alone caused them to, on average, lose 5 pounds. That is the power of awareness. Awareness and structure are the keys to eating better. They're the keys to any goal, really. So to start off, it's not about tracking every day, although that will help you. You got to start by walking before you run. So starting with one meal, auditing one meal a day for a week, I challenge you, will make a drastic difference. And number three, this one matters more than you realize. Tell your husband, tell your best friend, tell your coworker, tell your kids even. Say out loud that you're working on your health. You're actively working on your health. Say it to make it real every single morning to yourself. 5 minutes, set a timer. Affirmations, they matter. You don't have to go all out and do the multiple step affirmations, although I do recommend it. My wife's been showing me them. If you don't know what I mean, it's called Savers. I forgot what book she got it from. Leave a comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. But it's an acronym that stands for silence, affirmations, visualize, exercise, reading, scribe. But the idea is you write something down or you say it aloud to yourself and identify with that thing. I am my best body. You can do this by writing, reading, making a vision board. There's so many multiple ways, but that's for another video. We are what we focus on, and when you start focusing with intention, your identity is going to start to shift. Because the number one reason that you can't lose weight is because along the way somewhere you stop believing that you are somebody who can. And that's how you start believing again. If any part of this resonated with you, make sure you hit that like button because it really helps spread the message to more moms out there who need to hear it. In fact, if you made it this far, leave a comment down below saying I'm here and number 1, 2, or 3 based on the talking point. I want to know which one of these points resonated with you the most, because that could help me know what to focus on for the next video. I genuinely care about the health of moms and parents out there. They're some of the most important people in society. I know without my wife, my own family would crumble, so it's essential that you put your health first. And with that said, I'm more than confident I can help you. Click the link down below. I'm starting to not accept everybody because It all has to come down to a good fit. Feel free to apply using the first link down below in the description, and I'll reach out and see if I can help you. My goal for the rest of 2026 is to help at least 10 more people lose 20 pounds or more. I know what it's like to be consumed with everything going on in life today. If you want to know more about how I overcame and more examples of how I helped others, check out this video right here. See you in the next one.